Free from the GamersSphere network, and in this guide I'm going to show you how to jungle Ursa on the Radiant side. I've been busy actually playing a lot of games of Dota with the new 6.84 patch. They made a lot of changes to the heroes, and they added a lot of new items and changed a bunch of game mechanics, which really are going to start to affect the meta, and you're going to see it shift into something else. I don't know what it's going to be, but definitely going to see some changes. But one of the things they did change was Ursa's ultimate, which before it just gave you increased damage based on his maximum health, and now it gives you increased damage. It's just a flat multiplier times your Fury Swipes stack, and that increases your damage. So the damage increase is about similar on the ult, but they also added a damage reduction of 80% while it's active. So for up to 4 seconds while your ultimate is active, all damage sources that you're taking are reduced by 80%. So this makes Ursa incredibly tanky during that 4 seconds. So you can use this ultimate as a offensive or defensive skill. So in this guide, I'm going to start out and I'm just going to do just a couple of bot matches. And in the first bot match that I'm doing now, I am going to play like a normal or high skill player would play as a jungler. And after I'm done with this bot game, or just the start of this bot game, then I'm going to go back and I'm going to try to play the best I can. I'm going to try to do the jungle as efficiently as possible, sort of a very high skill game type play. I've been playing in high skill and very high skill games on my account, and the games have been pretty good so far. And Ursa seems to be pretty strong. I'm sitting on a 20 wins with 5 losses, and I've only been playing Ursa. It's the only character I've been playing on this account. And so most people who start to learn how to jungle, they will just kind of stand around in the jungle and wait for it to start. What you really should be doing is you should be going and contesting the runes in the center of the map. Even though you're a jungler, you need to help contest the runes, because they grant gold and XP bonus, which definitely helps Ursa get early levels and early gold, which he needs, because Ursa is a character that he likes to go in the jungle for the first 6, 7, 8 minutes, and then he wants to go out and start ganking and roam around the map and get kills. So you want to get that early level and experience and gold advantage, and then once you have that, you want to snowball that by getting tons of kills around the map. So at 30 seconds, the monsters spawn, so I'm just going to run up here and start attacking the priest. So the reason you attack the priest first is because he has a skill that heals, and so you want to kill him first. So I'm just going to keep going through these jungle creeps for the last one here. So it's 53 seconds, so I'm going to pull, because I want to stack the camp. So 53 seconds, I'm going to back away. See if we stacked it. I was too slow, so I didn't stack it. My bad. Eat a tango, go through here. I'm going to go in here and do some choke point jungling. So the reason you want to do some choke point jungling is to minimize your damage that you're taking. I'm doing a bad job. Here we go. Okay. You can see the guy I was hitting earlier now. He cannot hit me. He's just trying to find a path towards me. So I'm not taking any damage from him right now. So you want to try to choke point jungle, and you want to try to stack and pull. You want to stack for sure, but if you can pull and help out your safe lane, then that's something you should try to do. So it's almost 2 minutes, so the runes will be spawning in the middle again, so I'm going to go try to secure this rune. You're probably hiding here a second. If you get there early, try to hide in the Rosh pit, so that they don't see you trying to, contest the rune. So I'm going to head back to this camp, trigger my overpower, and I'm going to keep choke point jungling. So I did a good job this time. Both of these guys are trying to find a path to me, and they can't because there's an aggro timer, and so they will aggro to you, and they have a timer to find you. If they don't find you, then they go back to the jungle camp. So he'll go back, and then he'll try to find me. He'll find me, hit me once, and then he'll go back. So this saves you time, and it saves you a lot of life. Because you're not taking so much damage from all the creeps, you're only taking damage from a few creeps. Go over here. Okay. It's almost time to stack, so I'm going to try to stack this one. Pull those guys out this way. Yep, I did it. You see there, another group spawned. So, I need a choke point. Just gonna keep going at these guys. Back up and get some regen. The problem is these guys here. I gotta back up now. So the stacking is not really that efficient, as you can see. If the easy camp has the Vogues, because the Vogues have a poison attack, and that really does a lot of damage. You can't target them first, because I was doing that choke point, but it actually ended up hurting me because I couldn't target them first. You need to kill them first because they apply a damage over time, a DOT, and that does a lot more damage than the regular creeps hitting you. But it's okay, I'm going to keep trying to go. I'm going to keep trying this jungle. So I missed the stack at 4 minutes in the easy camp because I was standing in it, but I might be able to get this rune up here. So I'm going to check. Okay, it's here, that's good. I have 900 gold, I'm going to buy my Morbid Mass, and I'm going to send it to him. As soon as you have enough gold for the Morbid Mass, you need to buy it and send it to yourself on the courier. Because Ursa takes lots of damage in the jungle, and he only has so many tangos that he can use to help regenerate his life pool. So you need to get that life steal from the Morbid Mass as soon as possible. So as soon as you hit that 900, go ahead and grab it. I'm going to grab a Ring of Protection. Okay, I cleared that camp fast enough for the 5-minute mark, so that camp will respawn. I'm going to go back to the easy camp. Oop, I walked into the easy camp right at 5 minutes and blocked it on accident, so that was not good. It's okay though. Let's try the choke point again. The problem is I've been eating the trees around the choke point area, so it doesn't really help as much. That's one thing you have to keep in mind, is you want to try to eat the trees that won't hinder your choke point jungling. So I have enough for my my smoke. I'll buy my smoke. Should send him back. So you saw that I got to level 4 in 5 minutes. I can probably do this camp. Just using the easy camp and the medium camp, which are right next to one another, and you're also right next to the rune, which that allows you to have rune control as a jungler on the Radiant side, and it also allows you to jungle pretty fast because you're not running between the two medium camps right here. You're not running this long distance, you're just going this distance. Okay, so I went ahead and stacked that camp. It's 6 minutes. Let's go check rune real quick. I'm gonna buy a enchanted mango again. In this build, you start with an enchanted mango and 2 sets of tangos and a stout shield, and that allows you to, jungle pretty proficiently for quite a while. But then you need to buy another mango, another set of mangoes, because you need to have full life and almost full mana to kill Rosh if you're going for an early Rosh on Ursa. So I'm going to go ahead and eat that mango, but I'm not going to overpower, because I need to get more mana, and I need more life, so I can't kill Roshan yet. And I don't want to go back to base, because I don't want to buy a TP, because that costs money, and I don't want to run back there. So I'm just going to wait. Alright, so I think I wasn't out of range. Oops, I shouldn't have done that. That was a mistake. Actually, that might have been okay. The ghost, you want to kill the ghost one first. It has a spell that slows down your attack speed, and Ursa already has slow attack speed without the overpower. So you want to go for the main ghost first in this camp. There's like 4 or 5 sets of jungle creeps that spawn randomly at each minute if they're not blocked. So you want to try to, I'm going to go ahead and get boots since I'm a little behind. So you want to try to focus the one that has the lowest health but the highest damage. That's the rule. Unless they have auras. So this guy has a stomp, but he used to have an aura. In the old patch he had an aura that made everyone attack faster. So you would go for him first. But now I think the smaller one will be better. But to increase your efficiency at jungling, you want to always kill the one with the lowest health, the highest damage ratio. That way that you're killing the monster that's doing the most damage to you first. Like these satyrs. They do 25 damage and have 600 health. And these guys have 300 health, but they only do 8. So you can see that these guys do more damage per health. So you kill them first. So it's already 8 minutes. I got my ultimate now, so I can really easily do Roshan. I'm just going to grab another mango, because I kind of wasted it earlier, my overpowers. But if you do waste your overpowers, don't feel like you have to wait for it to regen. Just keep farming. Just farm faster and get a couple more levels like I just did, and then buy another mango. The mangoes aren't that bad, especially on Ursa, because Ursa struggles with mana at the beginning of the game. Okay, so now let's go do Roshan. So I'm gonna eat my mango. So I have full life, full mana now. Come over here, cast. What we're gonna do is we're gonna use our overpower twice. So we're gonna cast overpower. We're gonna smoke so no one can see us, and then we're gonna run into the pit. I could grab this, but that kind of tells them you're there. As soon as this is off cooldown, hit your ult and attack. As soon as your overpower is done, toggle it again. And now we're just gonna fight Roshan. He starts with 8,500 life and he does 85 damage. And I had 850 life. So he has 10 times my health and 30 more damage, and he can stun me, but I'm still gonna kill him. Because I have overpower, and if you've played Ursa before, you know that that stacks the Fury Swipes. Okay, so I killed Roshan at level 6, and killing him solo by myself with no one else in the pit or no one else around the edges of the pit gives you enough experience for 2 levels right there. And grab that rune. Let's go down here. These guys are low. So let's look at levels. I'm level 8. Razor is level 8. Tidehunter 7, 5, 6. So I'm the highest level on the map now. Oh, I'm not fast enough. That battle hunger. If I didn't have battle hunger, I could have killed him. Could have got a double kill there with that invisible rune. Okay, so that's basically the start of Ursa on the Radiant side. Just sort of at an intermediate skill difficulty. You want to try to get Roshan as soon as possible. Because you're playing Ursa, everyone knows that you can do Roshan very early in the game. So the earlier that you do it, the better. Because they won't expect it. If you're trying to wait till 12, 15 minutes and you're going to get a Vladimir's offering and phase boots and whatever else you want to buy, then go to Roshan. Either your whole team's going to come with you, which is okay. I mean, you're going to get Roshan that way anyway, but you're not going to get as much experience and gold, and you're not going to be able to really play Ursa effectively because he really needs to have those level advantages and gold advantages so he can snowball and just burst everyone down on the enemy team. So the sooner that you do it, the sooner that you're really playing towards Ursa's strengths in the game. So I'm just gonna kill this, and then I am gonna go back, and I'll buy out some more items. But this run's basically over, and I'm gonna do another run right after it. Exact same run, except I'm gonna go for an earlier Roshan, and I'm gonna try to do my juggling a little bit more efficiently and kind of show you a couple tricks. So let's just go back here, and I'll just talk about my build. while I head back. So I started with Scout, Chan and Mango, and 2 sets of Tangos. That gives me some block chance, damage reduction, HP regen passively, mana when I need it, and I can eat trees and wards for additional HP. Then the next thing I buy is my Morbid Mask, my Ring of Protection, and Smoke of the Sea, and that costs 1,200 gold total. So that's what you need to farm really fast and really efficiently is 1,200 gold. And then once you have that 900, first 900, you buy this and it gets you that life seal, which gives you much more sustain in your jungle. Then you get the Ring of Protection, and you get this because it allows you to sustain more in the jungle and sustain in fights if you need to actually go in and fight some right clickers. But mostly it's for Roshan. With this +3 armor, it really helps you take Roshan safely as a solo. It's not going to be one of those iffy things where you almost die or you die sometimes and it's just you got to get lucky. With the Ring of Protection and the Morbid Mask, full life and full mana, you can do Roshan very early. As early as level 5, you don't need 6 with your ultimate here to do Roshan, but your ultimate will speed it up if you want to wait for that level 6. So next you would buy your phase boots. Phase boots give you increased movement speed and they give you plus 24 damage. So you can toggle this and for 3.6 seconds you'll move faster. And this allows you to chase and it just allows you to clear the jungle faster and move around the map faster, which is very helpful. The next thing I get is the Orb of Venom. You can buy this in the basic shop back here now. You don't have to get it from the side shops or the secret shop. And this is just a counter to the enemy move speed. Because once you get up within range and you surprise them as Ursa coming out of nowhere and you hit them, a lot of times they will activate phase boots or they'll activate some movement skill and they'll run away from you. And if Ursa can't close that gap and get back close enough to them to apply additional Fury swipes, then he's not going to be able to kill them, and they're going to get away with a little bit of life because you'll come in and you'll overpower and use your ult before you see them, and then you'll hit them 4 times and they'll get low, and then they'll just run away and you won't get the kill. So you wanna get the Orb of Venom as soon as possible. Ideally, you want to get it when you get your phase boots, so that you can phase and catch up to people, hit them, and then slow them down, and then it's pretty much guaranteed they can't get away from you. So then after you have this sort of setup, you would get a Ring of Basilius, and you would get your headdress, and then with a couple, 150 more gold, I would get the recipe, and you'd get Vladimir's Offering. So I'm going to go just farm this out. I mean, this run's already done. Normally, I would have already farmed this out, bought it, and then gone around the map and ganked, but I wanted to explain the build a little bit more. So you would get your Vladimir's Offering, and this just gives you a passive aura to your team, and it gives your team lifesteal and regeneration, mana regeneration, all that great stuff. So this really benefits your team in the beginning of the game because it allows them, in a team fight, when you're around, it increases everyone's like power. So they can stay alive longer, they can cast more spells, they can do more damage with just basic right clicks, all that great stuff. So this is a pretty helpful item, the Vladimir's Offering. Some people will grab this and then go get Roshan, but you do not need it like I just showed you. After that, you would want to either transition into a Sanjin Yasha and a BKB, or you would want to go for an early Blink Dagger. And the Blink Dagger choice, it really depends, because I've noticed that if you play at the normal skill levels, or even at the high skill levels, most of the time you'll be able to get the drop on the player. If you're a good player, you'll be able to hide around a tree or a choke point where they won't be able to see you until they're really close to you. Like, I've caught a couple people hiding. Let me close this real quick. I've caught a couple people hiding right here, and they're walking through the jungle like this, and I'm right here, and then I trigger my overpower and my ult, and right when they come around the corner, I just swipe them twice, and or swipe them with the overpower and with the ultimate, and they die instantly. They can't even respawn. They can't even cast a spell or do anything because it just is so much burst. So at the lower skill levels, I would just recommend not even getting a Blink Dagger. Just get the Sanjin Yasha, which gives you 16% more movement speed all the time, and it gives you that maim chance. So that maim chance really helps too, because once you've maimed them, they're never getting away from you unless they have some buddies or they have some kind of tricks up their sleeves. And then go for a BKB just to get rid of all the magic attacks and the stuns and whatnot. Because Ursa wants to go in, and once he's committed to the fight, he just wants to wreak havoc. He does not want to get stunned. He does not want to get disabled. So get an early BKB, and this will just allow you to just tear through the enemy team whenever there's an engagement. And then sort of later in the game, you want to get a Skull Basher so that you can man fight the other enemy carry. Because eventually the enemy carry is going to get a BKB and going to get some of their items and catch up to you because you're snowballing and trying to get ahead of everyone so that you can just pretty much do everything as Ursa. But if they catch up, then you need the Skull Basher so that you can go in and stun their carry so their carry can't kill your team. And that'll really help. And then if you continue to get tons and tons of gold and you're just snowballing so fast, then just get yourself an Abyssal Blade right after the Skull Basher so you can permanently stun someone for 2 seconds and goes through spell immunity as well. And then go for an Eye of Scotty. And if you really need it, you could sell your Vladimirs for a blink or sell your Vladimirs and get a heart or an AC or whatever. I mean, this is kind of just how I like to play it. I never get to the point where I have to sell my Vladimirs. The game is either like it's over and we already won, or we're gonna lose, and the Vladimir's offering is kind of needed on defense, and I can't really sell it. And if you're on defense anyway, I'd rather keep the Vladimirs and not get a Blink Dagger. Because Blink Daggers, I feel like they just encourage Ursa to jump in and attack and just do that early burst, trick, that tactic where you just kind of catch them off guard, jump in burst, and kill someone. But then if you're too far away from your teammate, Ursa dies instantly when his ult's off and his BKB's down. He just flat out dies. He gets stunned and he can't do anything. Can't escape, can't do anything. So the Blink Dagger choice, it really depends on the game, in my opinion. I think that Ursa doesn't really need it at low skill levels because you'll just end up isolating yourself from your team and you'll be trapped, surrounded, and die, and then it'll be a 5-on-4, 4-on-4 without you, and you'll be dead. And the whole point of snowballing is not to die. You want to do everything yourself, so you need to be the highest level, the highest experience. So if you're dying, then that's time where you're not farming and you're not getting gold and you're not pushing objectives and getting tower gold and barracks gold. So you want to try to die as few as possible. So if you can only die 2 or 3 times and you can just farm and just get early Roshans, continue to get Roshans, continue to gank other lanes as Ursa should. After you get that first Roshan, you don't really need to farm anymore. You can just farm heroes and just go in and just gank top, gank bottom, sometimes gank mid, all that great stuff. So that was the first run, and that was sort of the flyover view of how to play Ursa on the Radiant side. So now I'm going to go into a little more detail and try to show you a few tricks I've been working on. So I'm going to start with the same stuff. Stout Shield, Enchanted Mango, and 2 sets of Tangos. I'm going to run up here and just hide in Roshan's pit and wait for the rune. Typically, Dire side will contest the top rune, and Radiant side will contest the bottom rune. So if you're playing at higher skill levels, don't even try to contest the top rune, because usually the whole Dire team will just be sitting around here waiting to take it, and your team's down here waiting to take this one. So you don't want to feed First Blood just to get the rune. If you can get the rune and get out without dying, go for it. But if you're gonna die in the process, it's not worth it. But this is a bot match, so I don't think there'll be much contesting. So if you stand right here in Roshan and you wait till it says 2 seconds, it's perfect. To time it just to run and pick it up right when it spawns. Because sometimes I'll be in the Roshan pit and I can't see out here because I don't have any teammates sometimes that are giving me vision. and I'll run out and there'll be two guys, but they won't expect you to run out of the Rosh pit. So you just run out and time it so when it spawns, you're right on top of it, you grab it, and then you take off. And it works pretty well. Unless unless they walk into the Rosh pit and see that you're there, and then you gotta run. So 29 seconds, I run up through here. I hit this guy, and I sort of rotate. In between attacks, I'm trying to rotate and put him in a good spot. In between each attack, if you need to, you want to grab a tango. The biggest thing I see people doing at the lower skill levels, and I'm guilty of it as well, is that they cancel their auto attacks by using skills and using tangos. So I just killed him, so I'm going to roll out, let it respawn. So a lot of people will cut this tree or this tree to jungle this area and come through to the medium camp, but I've been cutting this tree because it allows you to choke point. You can see this guy's not even attacking you. Only 2 people can attack you at a time from this position I'm at. And if you're in a different position, only 1 guy can attack you. So this will help you a lot with your sustainability. And as soon as you get your overpower, you want to use it. Because you have mana regen, and it's not regenning your full mana. So you want to use at least 1 overpower immediately. And then the rest of the time, you want to be using your overpower when you're taking a lot of damage. So it's now like 154, 153, so I'm going to run up here and get this rune. Right at 2 minutes. It's an illusion rune, which is pretty good for Ursa. It allows you to jungle. And I also stacked this camp. So in one movement pattern, I got the rune, and I also stacked my camp. But I did make a mistake just there. You want to be sure that when you level up to 3, you didn't use your overpower right before it. And that's what I just did. I used overpower, and then I leveled up. And I could have had a level 2 overpower before it if I would have just waited half a second. So I'm going to try to, in between attacks, I'm going to try to move and gain a little distance. Okay, I hate these guys. Just try to pull them a little bit. So this is a time when you want to use your overpower, because these guys do a lot of damage. You have that DOT poison attack. Okay, it's 55 seconds. Let's see if I can stack here. Over here. Ah, he ran the wrong way. You want to try to pull them through your choke point so that you can get a good pull. Because the box down here is bigger than it is above the jungle camp on the easy side. On the easy side, it ends right at the tree line pretty much, but on the bottom side, it extends farther. So when you're pulling and trying to stack easy, as Ursa jungling, you want to pull them through the choke point on the top side, top right. So I'm going to keep choke point jungling. I'm doing an okay job. Maybe not the best job. But I did manage to stack a couple camps. Managed to get the runes. Let's see. This camp's clear, that camp's clear. So I'm going to stack this camp for later, after Rosh. I think that's okay. I don't know. Let's see. Start rotating around so I can get... Oops, did I fuck it? Yeah, I fucked it up. I went too early. I went at 52 seconds. Thought that would be okay. I'll get the rune though. Use that. We'll grab this camp. Okay, this is a good one. In this camp, you want to go for the blue guy first, because he has the lowest damage to life ratio. And he also has a frost aura that he's supposed to use on other jungle creeps, but he never casts it. I'm pretty sure that's a bug they've never fixed. He never casts that spell, ever, on any jungle creeps, but if you are Chin and control him, you can use the spell. Alright, someone blocked my easy camp, so I'm just going to come and walk around and just wait. Guess I can grab the courier since he's home. Send him to me. So I'm going to move up here and try to pull him to the choke point in between attacks. There we go. Just minimize a little bit of that damage you're taking so that you can Rosh sooner. If the less damage you take in the jungle, then you can Roshan sooner because you don't need to regen it all with your lifesteal. God, Jakiro always dies first on hard map when he's on your team. Played so many bot games where he's always safe lane bottom and he always dies. So I'm gonna kill this guy and then run over for 6 minute rune. I'm already level 5, so I could actually Roshan right now, but I don't have any mana. Grab this bounty rune, buy another mango, come back up here, and I'm gonna choke point jungle easy. Medium camp. Just regen my life through my Morbid Mask. This guy's pathing's messed up. I mean, you don't have to get the blue guy first, or you don't have to get certain jungle creeps first if you're choke point jungling, because that's the whole point of choke point jungling is to minimize the damage you're taking. So if you can't get that guy immediately, then just go ahead and kill whoever ends up in the choke point. So I hit my W, I overpower. I don't have my ult, so let's see if I can do it. As soon as the first overpower is done, you want to hit again. The reason you overpower early is so that the cooldown can recharge, because you need 4 overpowers to kill him. And if you don't let the cooldown recharge before you attack, you only get 3 off before you're dead. So you have to use 2 at the beginning. So I just did 3, so this will be the 4th one here. Now I have no mana for an overpower, because your pool's not big enough, but a couple auto attacks. So this time I killed him at level 5, and I got enough gold and experience for 3 levels, and I ended up at level 8. And that's the same level I was at when I was doing it at level 6 with my ultimate. So you can see that if you do an early Roshan, you end up at the same level as if you would do it at 6. If you did it at 6, you'd be level 8, and if you did it at 5, you'd be at level 8. So if you can do it early, because then you'll be level 8. So I'm level 8, and everyone else is level 5 and 4, except Viper. And Viper is in the middle. So with this sort of strat and this pathing and whatnot, you can actually catch up to mid. I blocked that camp a little while. 8 minutes. Let's check the rune and let's get boots. Let's get boots. I'm gonna get Morbid Venom too, actually. Oh, and Viz rune, nice. So let's grab this. Let's go get Viper. Since he's already super low. Send that in. So normally you would want to ping out. I'm invisible when I'm coming mid, so that your people would know. Oh, I didn't hit my ult. Can I get him? Nope. Back out. I messed up. That was a big mess up. Amateur move. See, the problem with Ursa, actually, this is kind of a good point, is that he's really slow. So you need to have boots. I didn't have my boots because the courier went a weird way. So I didn't have my boots, and let's see, did Viper have boots? Yeah, Viper had power treads. So he was so much faster than me. There's no way I was going to kill him unless I overpowered and ulted right at the beginning, coming out of invisibility. I thought I hit it, but I must have hit a different key and missed it. So that was kind of a mistake. So I'm going to just farm this up real quick, because I need to get my phase boots. That's the big thing. You need phase boots and Ormavidum. As soon as you can get it, and as soon as you have that, then you can go off and you can start ganking. The only reason I ganked there is because I had the invisibility rune. So if after you kill Roshan, if you have enough mana for an overpower and your ultimate, and you pick up like a haste rune or an invisibility rune, then you should go and gank another lane right then. Because the invisibility rune and the haste rune are really powerful in the beginning of the game. Especially the haste rune on Ursa, because as Ursa you don't really have those fast boots yet. That, like Viper had power treads, and I didn't even have boots. So you want to, that haste rune really helps you just run down to the lane super quick and get, get a double kill maybe. I've gotten a couple double kills. I go kill Roshan, I pick up a haste rune, and then I just run down here and just kill the offlaners. Because their offlaners are usually pushed too far at the lower skill levels. And if they are pushed too far, then they don't have time to run back to their tower because you have a haste rune and your Ursa. So every time you hit them, you're doing more damage, and they can't escape from you because of the haste. So that really helps. So I'm going to use my overpower because I was taking, multiple sources of damage right there, and I wanted to just kill one of them. So I have my phase. So I'm going to phase back to base real quick. I'm going to sell my scout probably, or at least move it to my stash, and then I'm going to grab a TP and I'm going to head to a lane and try to get a kill.
Not yet.
See the levels here. I'm 9, 7, 7, 6, 8. Viper's 9. So me and Viper are staying pace. So I'm going to sell that, I guess, because I just want some, get my Basilius, actually. Was it fast enough? I can't take on 3 people, I'll go middle. Try to push this mid. So, I mean, you are pretty strong once you've killed Rosh and all that at the beginning, but you cannot take on 3 people, especially with stuns and whatnot. Unless you get the drop on one of them and kill him instantly, maybe you could take on. But Ursa's pretty strong, but he's not that strong. I don't think any hero is that strong. You have to have some edge, like an invisibility rune to pop out, or a haste or something. So just chunk this down. It's gone. I do have Aegis though, so with your first Aegis, you want to trade it for a tower, or you want to trade it for some kills. So I could have gone, I had 2 choices. I could have gone bottom after the tower already died, and tried to pick someone off and then use my Aegis to get another kill. Or I could have, they're fighting out here, they're pushing bottom heavily. I'm gonna come in from behind you. Oh man, nice hold. Oh, these guys are dead. They're so dead. Ah, you nightmared me. Dead. Nice. But you want to trade the Aegis for kills or for a tower. You don't just want to hold on to it and regen like I did. I mean, I went middle, but there was no one to kill. And we got the tower for free. But yeah, you want to try to... a couple wards, maybe. I like that they made the wards, you can buy only 1 ward. Because sometimes as a jungler, I like to just ward my side of the map. Because if you're playing a game where you don't have a support, or your support's playing as a carry or whatever, you want to be able to ward your side, and it, paying 200 or 150 for 2 of them kind of sucks. 75, not a big deal. So it's almost 14 minutes for the next rune, so I'm just gonna come over here. There's not really much I can do right now. I can't really gank any lanes because all the lanes are pushed so far. There's not much I can do. I might be able to get Sven. I'm not sure if I can kill Sven. I have to burst him. I might be able to get Vayne though. Alright, I'm just gonna overpower, speed this up, and try to grab that rune. Grab this rune. And then I'm gonna head mid as soon as I grab it. Oh, I heard a title. I'm up behind him. Into the forest. So I ulted through the tower. Ah, I cannot get him with those power treads. I had the Orb of Venom and the Phase Boots, and I could not catch up to him. And I had the Earth Shock as well. So with this build, I didn't even talk about the build yet, but you start out with Fury Swipes, And you go 2 points in overpower, 1 point back to Fury Swipes, and then another point in. Oh wow. I ulted right before the stun. Perfect. That's not good. They just let Bane kill me. They were so focused. The bots were so focused on spin that they just let Bane kill me. Nice. Um. So yeah, the build. Let's go back.
The enemy's middle tower has fallen.
Abilities here. So 1 point in the Fury Swipes at the beginning. This just allows you to get those stacks on the creeps. Increases your damage. So no matter how much life they have or whatever, you can eventually kill them if you can survive the damage. Then I go 2 points in Overpower, and as soon as you get your first point in Overpower, you want to use it, preferably on one of the um, the ones with the highest damage, lowest health. You want to kill those guys off really quickly with your Overpower. Just get another point so that you have 4 attacks, and then go back to Fury Swipes, and then go back to Overpower because you basically want to max Overpower first because that's how you jungle really fast. That's how you kill people really fast with your burst, and that's how you lifesteal and sustain yourself really. If you get low and your Overpower comes off cooldown because of your lifesteal and your stacks increasing your damage, it increases your lifesteal per attack. So if you have 6 stacks, by the 6th stack you're hitting for a lot of damage with your Fury Swipes. And since your lifesteal is 15% of that damage, it gives you a lot of lifesteal. So your overpower cooldown, if it comes off cooldown and you're low life and you have lifesteal, you can regen pretty fast
Your
by
middle
chunking
tower
people's life.
has fallen.
So you go another point in overpower, then you get your ultimate, then you come back and get the last point in overpower. So you have 6 stacks now. So technically you can gank at level 7 if you get a good position with your phase boots and your orbit venom and maybe a haste or an invis rune, like I said. At 7 you could kill people pretty easily. Get additional stacks at 8 and 9, and then on 10 you're gonna get your first point in Earth Shock. And this is where you can really gank well, especially if you have a blink dagger, like you get a fast blink dagger. You can just blink in. Well, first you would use overpower, wait for the cooldown to be like 1 or 2 seconds, blink in, hit them with the first overpower, then Earth Shock. So if they try to run away, they're slowed. You don't want to Earth Shock first, because most people will be so surprised by you blinking in on them that they won't move for the first second or two. So if you Earth Shock right at the beginning, you're wasting 2 seconds of the 4 seconds because they're not moving anyway. They're reacting. They're still processing the initial blink and attack. So you want to overpower, wait for the cooldown to be low, blink in, hit them, and then when after you've used a couple swipes on them, use your Earth Shock to slow them. So if they try to run away, their movement is slowed. And then you want to use another overpower and turn your enrage on, so that you just absolutely make sure that you kill them. So you'll get that first point at 10, and that should solidify you as being able to gank pretty easily with that first point. Then you'll level up your ultimate again at 11, and then you'll finish off your Earth Shock because you do want to have the increased slow and increased damage. Sometimes you can just kill people straight up with the Earth Shock. Like if you come in and Fury Swipe and overpower them, and they get low, and then they Ghost Scepter, then you use an Earth Shock because Earth Shock is magical damage, and you can't use physical damage on a ghost, but you can use magical. So sometimes you can just kill people off if they're low and they're Ghost Sceptered or whatever. Just use an Earth Shock and kill them. After that, then you'll just increase your attribute points. So at 15, you'll grab your first one. You'll get your ultimate like all the other heroes, basically, and then you'll just go all attributes from there because that's the only thing you can do. So that's the guide as far as it goes for just the jungling. Didn't really do any ganking because it's just a bot match, and my bots pushed all the lanes out. Um, and I don't even have Blink Dagger anyway, but I hope that gives you just a general idea of how you can jungle Ursa on the Radiant side pretty easily. You don't even have to move very much. Like I said, if you just keep your pathing down to here, So you're picking up the easy camp, you're picking up the medium, you're grabbing the rune on bottom when you can, just going back and forth through here. It's really, really efficient. The only thing that you have to do is you have to stack. So every time that timer gets to 53 seconds, you need to pull the creeps out of the camp. And that'll allow you to sustain the jungle creeps so that you don't have to move, because typically you'll see other junglers like Troll or Enigma or Chen or whoever, and they'll be moving through the hard and the medium camps, and they won't even use the easy camp because usually you leave the easy camp for the pull. But I found that if you're jungling bottom, you can usually pull the easy camp when they need it, because you don't need to pull the easy camp all the time anyway. Sometimes you want the lane to push a little bit, or you want, if you're trying to do something, you're trying to push the lane out, and you don't want to pull the camp, or you don't want to pull the camp if there's tons of creeps already on the tower. If the dire creeps are already on the bottom tower, you don't want to pull your radiant creeps into the jungle. That just doesn't make any sense. You want the lane to push out in that circumstances because you want the dire creeps off your tower. So, I mean, the easy camp and the medium camp is plenty to sustain Ursa for 5-10 minutes in the beginning of the game, and then when those are cleared, and if you didn't get your stack off, just come to the hard camp and stack the hard camp. And then you can clear that hard camp after Roche for a quick blink dagger, or you can, give the camp to one of your other
Your top
carries.
tower is under attack.
So this is free from the GamersSphere Network. Going to be signing off. Hope you enjoyed the guide. I'm going to be coming out with another guide for Ursa on the dire side, so stay tuned for that. If there's any particular other guides or other topics, or you want to see some guide on Chin jungling, Enigma jungling, or you want to look at some of the carries that are more popular right now, like the PA, Phantom Assassin, or I'm trying to think of some other characters that I have a lot of experience in. I can do a Lycan jungle as well. So just leave it in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and stay tuned for more content. Thanks. Goodbye.